I love to see the towns passing by and to ride these rails neath God's blue sky. Let me travel this land from the mountains to the sea, 'cause that's the life I believe He meant for me. And when I'm gone and at my grave you stand, say God called home your rambling man.
Welcome to Ramblin' Man Podcast, episode number 145. This one's with Damon Rawls of the Knoxville Black Business Directory. And we kind of talk about how he got into business and like his pathway of that. But it was a really good talk. Known Damon for a bit. It's good to hear his perspective on things. If you'd like to find out more about the Knoxville Black Business Directory, it's knoxvilleblackbusiness.com. And I really appreciate Damon for coming on the podcast. Sponsor this week is Feral Giant. Feral Giant is a graphic design, illustration, and social media consultation company based here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Though they do work for clients big and small all over the country, all over the globe, in fact. But they also do photography, videography, video editing, and audio editing, website design, SEO, writing, content development. Hell, they'll babysit your kids if it nets them money. So make sure you give them a follow on social media on either Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or LinkedIn at @FeralGiant. And be sure to give them an email today and hire them for your next project. Without much further ado, here's the episode. The thing that got me started was Mark. Do you know Mark Maron, WTF podcast? Mm-mm. So he's a comedian. He's an actor now too, more, but he's been doing a podcast. He's one of the original guys that like 2008, 2009 is when he started. And a lot of it was him interviewing comedians who need to know more. But he said the advice he had was be consistent. He's like, if you're going to drop every Monday, don't miss a Monday. If you're, and that's been my adage, is like, I can't miss a week. And there are some times where it's been like a Tuesday or Wednesday because of Libsyn's weird storage thing. But I haven't missed a week. I'm going to knock on wood when I say that. And there's one I keep thinking about bringing back. I started one with my buddy Michael May called Southern Charm. And it was the positive aspects of Southern life. We did this like 5 years ago. But we only did it once a month. And I was like, man, I feel like that's something that could... I feel like bringing it back and just interviewing different people instead of just him. Yeah. Because I think there is still positive things. We're not all brain dead redneck idiots down here. Like, there is a lot of good stuff down here if the people who are not from here would stop moving here. And Nashville. Nashville, sorry. Sorry, I just came back from Nashville. And it's... Most cities, I think... Man, I hate leaving this town. Nashville's one. Get me the hell out of it. Sorry. It's all good. I'm sorry. I'm starting to have strong. Now here will be a good answer. Where are you originally from? Please don't say Nashville. Please.
No, I'm originally from Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay.
So, born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida, but.
Duval.
Yeah, Duval. But my dad was from outside of Montgomery, and so we moved there, and that's where I went to high school.
Okay.
Junior high school, and then went to college in Huntsville.
Okay.
Alabama A&M, and so.
Okay.
I'm that's where I'm from, man.
Okay.
I'm a Southern boy.
What did your folks do for a living?
So my mom's a nurse and entrepreneur, and then so she owned an assisted living facility. And so my dad was in like radio and television.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. Hey, radio and television.
Yeah, so this is not far from me. Like, this is actually in the genes.
Although it could go either way. It could also be I'm not going to do what you're doing, Dad. Like,
Oh yeah, I did. I was definitely that kid, and did like he's like, man, you should do radio. No, I'm not doing that. Not doing that. Why? Because he did it right. Like
I had the opposite. Everybody in my family, all the men were in the military. And then when it came time for me to get out of school, they were like, no, you're not doing that. Because it was like my grandfather, you can see his stuff up there. He fought in the worst stuff in World War II in the Pacific.
He was like, no way are you seeing that.
He didn't say that, but my dad and uncles, my uncles fought in the, oh my God.
Would have been Vietnam probably.
And it was stuff, the stories, I've always said, eventually I'm going to record their stories, but I will not release it until even I'm dead, because the stories of them growing up is so harrowing, and especially the Vietnam stories are just wildly messed up. Like, it's just very rough. So all of them, I still remember when after, God, this it's the earliest I've ever invoked 9/11 on this podcast. When that happened, one of my uncles, his son was 16. He was like, I will move him to Canada. They are not taking another one of us to go fight in something that doesn't matter. Like, he was pissed. He was like, nope, you're not taking my kid.
Oh, wow.
Like, he was. So it was, for me, it was you're not doing that. You're not doing that. I was like, oh, okay. That's fine. I guess. I don't know. I like art. And they're like, we don't understand that either. Okay, so radio and TV, nurse, entrepreneur, Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think. Is Montgomery where the Trash Pandas are at? There's a minor league team called the Trash Pandas.
No.
Or are they Birmingham?
No, that might be Birmingham.
That might be Birmingham.
Montgomery is Biscuits.
The Biscuits.
Yeah.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
My friend and I are obsessed with minor league
teams,
mascots and baseball
okay.
caps because they're so weird and cool. So
Yeah, no, Montgomery is the Biscuits.
Okay. And what was it like growing up in Montgomery? Like,
So Montgomery, it's like home of the civil rights movement. Right?
Yeah.
Like, so it was a unique place, man. It's a lot like it's a lot like Knoxville. There was areas in Montgomery that you just, like, as a black kid, you just did not go.
Okay.
There were places but it was cool though, right? Like like everywhere else in the South, when you grew up in the South,
Yeah.
like there's racists, there's rednecks, and you just stay away from them, and
Yeah.
it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But no, man, I had a great time, man. I had a great childhood. I played ball.
Okay.
Found creeks to swim in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Did stupid stuff like that. And
We'll stay out until
yeah.
stay out till the lights come on.
yeah, never got in a van. So I'm a kid. I'm from that age, right?
Yeah,
I'm the latchkey
Yeah.
kid age. So
Yeah.
watch for vans, watch for weirdos in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I lived that kid life. Like the 80s was, we got on bikes and rode to the malls,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean? So I grew up in that time frame,
Yeah.
which was probably the best time frame ever.
It was wild because, like, Easttown Mall changed to a dollar theater when I was in high school. So the amount of times I was in the summertime where I would collect dimes and nickels and quarters that I found around the house and walk to the mall. The God knows how long it was to the mall. You'd be like, all right, I'm here to see Encino Man again because there's air conditioning here and it's not my house. Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up in that time frame too.
Yeah.
Man, riding bikes across town, like totally across town, 30, 40 miles.
So I never learned how to ride a bicycle. I was a skateboard kid.
Oh, okay.
So I would always drive down the church or ride down the church parking lot and try and do tricks on the little ramps and stuff there.
Yeah, I never got on skateboards. I hated them. I never picked it up, so I was like, this is stupid.
I've got a friend that keeps trying to get me to get back on one. I was like, I am too old. I will break. That's a long way to fall, man. That is a long way to fall. There's a lot of broken bones.
And that stuff don't heal quick nowadays.
No.
Like at this age, you break it, hey, you might live with it forever.
Was there anything when you were young that kind of stuck out that you liked doing? Like playing sports, or was there anything that kind of came to the forefront?
Well, I mean, that's like from a physical aspect. I guess I'm always physical. Like
Okay.
I'm a super active person.
Okay.
I'm probably never sitting around.
Yeah.
So, moving here, I just kind of, and as you get older, you change the things you can do. So, you know what I mean? Like I'll go hiking, I'll do water sports here.
Yeah.
I'll go kayaking and you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
What's the upright board thing?
Paddleboarding. Yeah, I'm not a fan of paddleboarding.
That also scares the hell out of me.
Yeah. They're actually pretty stable.
Oh, okay.
They're wide.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
not like a surfboard.
Yeah.
That's smaller. They're wide and they're buoyant, so
Yeah.
you can pretty much balance one.
Okay.
But the thing is like for me, standing up, you got to go to a point where you're gonna sit down.
Yeah.
And if you go to a point where you're sitting down, the transition, you probably fall. And like, I don't know if you've ever been like at the Tennessee River down by like Neyland Stadium.
Yeah.
Like, have you been on the water down there?
Nope. I've seen it. That's
Okay.
enough for me.
Okay. Yeah. So if you're kayaking in that, and if you're paddleboarding in that, you don't want to fall in that shit. You know what I mean?
Calhoun's. We always grew up saying, "I don't ever eat the fish here. It probably came out of this water."
Yeah. So you know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my thing about like
Yeah.
paddleboarding there.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where you can rent them.
Yeah.
I would probably do it like at Norris, up by
Yeah.
Norris, where the green water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nicer water, but I've never
Out in
so-
Oak Ridge where it's flatter
Yeah.
and stabler. Yeah.
Mhm. But I have not, and don't intend on, unless I'm out that way. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, okay, so we're going to go backwards for a minute. When you were in like middle school or high school, was there anybody who like stood out or like mentored you or tried to give you direction?
Yeah, I had a lot of people in my life like that. So,
Okay.
like, I did. So, if you've ever, my high school was a little bit different. I went to a regular high school
Okay.
for 2 classes, but then I went to an arts high school program at the same time.
Okay.
So I went to 2 schools, one primarily that had the arts programs. So I would go over there and spend the bulk of my day doing radio and television production
Okay. Okay.
and dance. So
Okay.
like, because I was in a program like that, they always had people coming over. Like I met Wynton Marsalis when I was in
my
junior
God.
high school. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there were always people like that pouring into us because it was a unique school,
Yeah.
a unique arts program. So, God, I can't remember this guy's name. He started. Oh goodness. He was. Oh man. I hate that I lost his name. But it's older black reporter.
Okay.
Like historical reporter, came and talked to us and like, hey, talked about career, etc., and just learning to trust yourself and all that stuff, man. So I've always had people who were always, and then like the OGs of the neighborhood. I'm a dude who will listen to old people, so like I always kind of was around old guys, and so
Okay. Now I'm looking up somebody. I was like, what is the guy from 60 Minutes' name that was on forever? That had the earring.
yeah.
God, what?
No, not Ed Gordon. That's not Ed Gordon. Ed Gordon was a BT.
Ed Bradley.
Bradley.
Yeah.
Yep, Ed Bradley.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when it comes to historic, that's the one I remember the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
So
So people like him, and
Yeah.
it was cool. It was cool. So,
Did you in that era, did you all have it wasn't 8 tracks, but it looked like 8 tracks for the radio?
no, I'm not that damn old, man.
Well, I am, because when I was up in Fulton, we had
Well, I mean, you're talking, yeah.
for like the commercials and stuff.
Oh,
you'll-
yeah. Oh, yes. And those machines,
Yeah.
you're talking about is similar to a VHS.
Yeah.
But it was big. It was like thicker, and yes.
Yeah.
So yes, I thought you meant music wise.
No.
Like an 8-track, and I was like, the hell? I mean, I remember 8-tracks. Like, I'm old enough to remember the 8-track because, again, because my dad was in radio and television. Like, he always had technology around, so reel to reel.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We had reel to reel in the house that played music. We had the 8-tracks, and we had so remember the console. Units with the equalizers in it, and and then one unit played 8-tracks.
That's how my setup in there in there for the records.
Yeah, one unit played tapes, and one unit played a record.
Yeah.
And
My uncle and both of my uncles and on my dad's side, my dad were all huge into that.
Yeah.
So they had like 8-tracks because when in like the 70s, radio stations late at night would play full concerts. Mm-hmm. So they would have like Led Zeppelin live at Madison Square Garden in 1972, and they would record it on reel to reel. So they still have that stuff, but the 8-tracks. My uncle had a round bed with a clamshell with an 8-track player in it with mirrors, and I was just like, I still have a photo. I keep a photo on my phone because my uncle was like, I tried giving that thing away on Facebook Marketplace and no one would take it. Then I put like $100 on there and everybody was trying to get it. He's like, I just wanted it the hell out of my house. It's like, yes.
That's some player stuff right there, man. That's I'm single, ready to mingle.
No comment. That's fine. I can't think about that stuff. But yeah, like we were a vocational school, so like that's how I got into design. Was the print shop, but we had a thing called Pre-Voc where you went 2 weeks in every class, and their TV were like the 1950s, like
rolled out
cameras, and then the radio, Mr. Johnson, that old system had to have been from like the 60s. Like, and it was those, I don't know what those DAT tapes, or I can't remember what they were called, but they were like massive. And we would record promos and commercials on them. I was like, this is the dumbest thing in the world.
I did all that, man. Like, I remember going to, so my dad in his parts, like, he loved music and being a DJ. So he would DJ for like the local radio station.
Okay.
So I remember being like, hey, can I, and he would do the overnight, the DJs with the sexy voices. This is KLM, like Love After Dark. You know what I mean? That show. And so I would be up with him, man. I'd be 2-3 in the morning, like as a little kid running around a radio station, like nobody there, just drinking coffee. And it's like, that's probably why I'm this tall. So I was drinking coffee that early. So like I shouldn't have been drinking coffee, but he was like, whatever.
Oh my God.
Just don't come in here when this red light is on.
Don't mess up the mood I've got going on in here.
Yeah.
If it makes you, so my parents would let me drink coffee, but it was always like that much coffee, that much milk, that much sugar, and I would dunk cookies in. So that's why I'm big. I had the opposite. Okay, so what was the name of the college you went to?
Oh, Alabama A&M.
Alabama A&M. Okay. Mm-hmm. When it was high school and you were looking at colleges, what was your focus going to be on in college? Did you have an idea of what you wanted to major in?
Yeah, I kind of. I'm always like forward thinking.
Okay.
Of my life. I don't know why, but that's just kind of how I am. I'm always thinking about, hey, what are you going to do next, right? Like, when you're retired, what are you going to do? So, like, I'm already thinking about retirement.
Yeah.
But I knew I wanted to be in business. Like, so in my head, I wanted to be a businessman. And so I was like, all right, I got to learn finance. And so that was my major, finance.
Finance. Okay. Yeah. Did your mom kind of influence or nope, not at all.
One bit.
Okay.
Not one bit. They were the ones, my parents were kind of the parents, like, live your life, bump your head, figure yourself out.
Okay.
Figure out the world. Like, we'll give you a little guidance if you ask, but if you don't ask,
okay,
go forth. Do it.
Do you have any brothers or sisters?
2 younger sisters.
2 younger sisters. Yeah. What did they end up getting into?
It's like one's actually stay home mom.
Okay.
And the other, I mean, so they didn't follow the same route that I did.
Okay.
I mean, they both went to college, but they One, she is God, what does she do? They're way younger than me. So
Okay.
She's in customer service. Yeah.
Okay. My sister's 11 and a half years younger than me, so,
Yeah,
my
so-
parents had built-in babysitter. And
Yeah, mine are 8 and 9 years younger. So like, yeah,
okay.
totally get the 11 years different. So
And you mentioned dance in your high school. Was that something like you excelled at, or you just it felt?
no, I needed the credit hours. It's like no. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Like no, totally. So what ended up happening is when I was getting ready to graduate, like the year of graduation, they do a little audit of your, like the counselor.
Yeah.
You just go in the counselor's office and they look at your hours and and this is for high school. So they're like, okay, you're gonna graduate on time, or you got to do summer school to get this 1 hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so they're looking at it like that. And when we looked at it, I had all these arts hours, and she was like, if you picked up one more hour, one more class, you'll have enough credits for arts diploma.
Okay.
It'll be a regular high school diploma, but it'll be specialized in arts.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right. And so the program I was in, because I was already in the special school, I just was like, hey, let me pick another class. And they let me do it.
Okay.
And so I couldn't sing. Like, we had choir and those type of like art, guitar and
Drawing or
yep.
figure studies.
Yeah. And so I couldn't do any of that crap. So I was like, man, what can I do? Man, I got to get out of here. What can I do? And I was like, dance. And so like I took like dancing 101. It's like I took
Oh
the
my God.
basis.
Okay.
So, but it was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was high school. So it was me and 70 women.
Yeah.
So I was winning.
What is
It's good times.
We had a very short time. We had was it drama, and it was same thing. It was like 3 guys and all women.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And I couldn't act. So we didn't have, like, I didn't think I could, at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no one ever told me, like, hey, you can't act, kid. But I assumed I couldn't act. I know I can't sing, so
Yeah.
for sure.
I always think there's a very horrible dad joke on this band, the Bloodhound Gang, that is a little interstitial, and he goes, "Well, I sing like an amputee, can't hold a note, can't carry a tune." And I was like, "Oh my God!"
Whoa.
And so anytime I hear somebody say, "I can't sing," I think of that, and I'm like, "This very inappropriate dad joke."
Yeah, that's a little rough. That's a little rough, huh?
Because it's all music. Well, it's all goofy songs. They're a goofy band. But right in the middle, it's like, where did this come from? Like,
Yeah.
what in the hell? Okay, so business. You go to college. Was college kind of? Did you still live at home, or did you live on campus?
I lived on campus. I went to
Okay.
school like 4 hours away.
Oh, it's 4 hours
Yeah,
away.
yeah.
Okay, and was that like a mind blow to you, like a culture shock?
Not really, because I was kind of, so I was at the time that I went to an HBCU, School Days had come out, A Different World was on television. So there were all these things promoting and showing how life is on a black college.
Okay.
On a black college campus in particular. And so I had an idea. And then what really set it off for me, that I knew I was going to college, I went to a step show. And so
Okay.
one thing, so black colleges, like girls and guys, sororities and fraternities, they do what's called stepping. And so step shows are where the schools, well, the frats and the frats and sororities compete against themselves, right? Like all of one group will compete against, like all of Omega Psi Phi will compete to see who's the best and against like these other groups, but just guys against guys and then girls against girls, whatever. So anyway, go to a statewide step show, which is fraternities from all the colleges in Alabama. So
Okay.
like crazy amount of folks. and just like I was like, yeah, I gotta be involved in this next year, man. I gotta be like, just it was just an amazing
Like, I took
environment.
dance in high school.
Man, it was say, listen,
I could do this.
women everywhere. They smelled great, and just I was like, yeah, you'll notice the theme is women. So yeah, I knew I was going to college, man. So
Okay.
got there, and it was all good. It was all good, man. I enjoyed college. I think I tell everybody, go to college. College is the only place that you can be a major screw up
Yeah.
in the world, and people will. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right, son.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're in college. You gotta find yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they won't say that to a 21-year-old who's not in school.
Yeah.
But a 21-year-old in school can be a screw up,
Yeah. Yeah.
and people will accept it.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's one kind of I hate saying having a regret because it's always like I'm here because of everything that happened, but I didn't go away to school. I went to Pellissippi, so I still lived at home, and it felt like extended high school for like the first year. And I was like, wait, I can skip and go drink beer. Wait, that can happen. But I was also like 19. I was like, wait, I can go get my friend to buy me beer and
Yeah.
drink beer and skip a class. And like, yeah, because
Yeah.
you're an adult, air quotes, adult.
yeah, right. Yeah. No, I had an apartment, so like I lived off campus
Yeah.
because I had older friends. So one of my buddies, I was like, man, I don't want to live on campus. He was like, let's get an apartment, and it was like, okay.
Okay.
So we had an apartment, and it's like, oh man, we were living the life, man. You know?
So were you no frat for you?
No,
or?
I never pledged
Okay.
anything. Nope. They were all kind of like suspended at the time that I got there.
Okay.
So they came back, but by that time I was ready to leave and kind of felt like I
Yeah.
was an adult. It didn't need like a fraternity or whatever. So
And you knew you were going to be on this path when you started. Did it always feel like you were on that path when you were in school?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, my life it's been pretty much the same.
Okay.
Which is probably a problem the way it is. But no, for me, it never changed. I mean, I got to college and I explored things in college. I did other things besides class. And
Yeah.
I did no sports. Now, that's one thing I did not want to do.
Okay.
I had no intention on playing any sports in school.
Okay.
So like I was pretty good wrestler and stuff, and so there were opportunities for me to go to college purely to do sports, but
Yeah.
I just did not want to do that.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to school to hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I like school, so I like learning, but I wanted to be there to hang out too.
Yeah.
So
There's a comedian, Bert Kreischer, that he likes telling a story about, like, there was a guy he grew up with that was so good at baseball that it was almost like a next level. And his dad would always tell me, it's like, you're never going to be like that because it's just a next level. There's a level of commitment, too, of just that.
Yeah.
And he got to play, I can't remember, I think he was like a walk-on at Florida State to be a catcher for the baseball team. And he said, he started playing, he was like, nope, not for me. And he was like, he literally just walked out, went to his frat, loaded up a bong and cracked a beer, and he was like, nope, this is what I want to do.
yeah,
while I'm here.
like being a college athlete is a serious level of commitment.
Yeah.
Man. You know, you got, and I don't care what the sport is,
Yeah.
but either you can't practice during the day, so you got super early morning practice,
Yeah.
and then probably typically evening practice, along with schoolwork. Schoolwork is hard enough.
Yeah.
College is hard enough as it is.
Yeah.
Then to add that to it, and then to take it serious,
Yeah.
right? Because unless you're a super athlete and you're gonna float, and they're gonna pay,
Yeah.
they're giving you everything because the cheating teachers and all that stuff. But if you're not that guy, then you got to really do your work.
And you got also, know you need something to fall back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause you're not gonna. I remember in English class I had this teacher. She was so damn mean, but she was hilarious. It was a bunch of football players in our class, and she said, one of the guys was saying, "Hey, can we move this test back? A lot of us are going to be leaving Friday for the game. And she said, I'm not moving anything. And the guy was like, no, please, can we take it? She said, well, you guys can take it later. She said, but I don't know why you're not taking it. You guys aren't going to the NFL. Like, literally says this in the front of the classroom. But she was mean like that. Like, she meant it like to push you too.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't being a jerk. She was just being like hard.
Yeah.
And she just liked to challenge you. Like, I remember when I walked into her class, the classroom. So you know how you go to class at the beginning of the year and there may not be enough kids in a class. And so they drop it and they move it to another group, like another class. I don't know if that ever happened to you, but
I think a lot of mine, there was twice the amount of people at the beginning of the class till the end.
Yeah.
Like it ended up down to, there's only 8 of us in here now.
So I went to this one English class and there was only like 3 people in there. And so I think they were like, kill this class, roll you guys into another one. So walking her class, this is like week 1. So we've only met twice.
Yeah.
Even in the other class, we've only met twice. So I remember going to her class and they were taking a quiz. No bull. They're taking a quiz. And I was like, hey, I got transferred into your class. And she goes, yeah, sit down, take this quiz. I can't even remember the subject. But she's like, take this quiz. And I was like, do I have to? Because I don't even know what you guys are reading.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and she said, now people are taking the test. And she said, hey, class, you don't want to be like this guy. He's going to fail my class.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. She goes, he's going to fail my class. She said, go sit down and take this test. So a little bit about my personality. If you challenge me, I am going to push back. So in front of the whole classroom, I said, nah, you want to be like me because I'll ace this class. And so like it was my job that semester to beat her. And I focused all of my efforts to like every test. I took that one test that she made me sit down and take, but everything, and I failed it because hell, I didn't know what they were reading.
Yeah.
But everything after that, man, was like 98, 100, 98. Like when I hate you, and I'm gonna do everything in my will to like beat you.
I understand that level of stubbornness because I have joked with people. I was like, okay, first off, I'm a man. Second off, I'm a Southern man. Third off, I'm a Collins man. I was like, that is a level of stubbornness that you do not understand. Like, that is a level of stubbornness is like, I will literally rip off my leg if it means I win over you.
Yeah,
like,
I got to prove to you that and because she challenged me in front of everybody, like she embarrassed me, and it really wasn't embarrassing, but she, you know what I mean, in front of everybody for no reason.
Is, at that point, you're still a kid.
Yeah. And I dropped the class. Well, I didn't drop a class, but the class got dropped. They moved into your class. I'm willing to take the test, any test. But why should I just walked in here, lady?
Yeah. Can you
can you tell me what y'all were reading?
Yeah.
Like before I have to take a test on what you guys are, and that. But here's the funny part. I used to see her at the grocery store in my neighborhood from time to time.
Yeah.
And she would be so pleasant. She'd
so
be
weird.
Like, she'd say, hey, baby, good to see you. And see, that's the uniqueness. But one of the things about going to a historically black college, that's the uniqueness of a school like that.
Yeah.
Is that you get like a person who will pour into you, because she would see me and we would have talks afterwards. So she kind of knew what she was doing. Like we would talk in the grocery store and she'd be like, I knew you were going to do good. It's just, so you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the level of people you end up having as teachers. Like one of my teachers, his grandfather was the first black lawyer in Louisiana.
Oh my God.
Like, you know, so to sit in a class and learn from somebody like that with that much history, who's talking about the subject matter, but also giving you some life stuff to think about too, is what's so dope about being at a HBCU.
Okay. Well, when you graduate, then did you consider like staying in that area? Did you stay in that area, or were you like, I gotta get the hell out of Alabama? Or did you go back home?
No,
like,
I just went off. I went off to work.
okay.
I mean, that was the goal, was to just go off to work. I thought about grad school a little bit, but I just didn't find nothing clicked in trying to figure out grad school. So I just went off to work, man. I had actually I had worked for Disney as an intern.
Okay.
So there was the guy who had started the program at Disney, which is weird. Watch this correlation. This is so weird. So I go to the co-op office, which was, that's where kids would find internships, sexual work, whatever. And so that's where recruiters would come to the school to recruit. So a guy comes to the school, recruits. He looks at my resume and he was like, hey, that program you was at in Disney. He's like, I used to work for Disney. I created that program.
Oh.
I was like,
oh.
I was like, whoa, really?
Yeah.
So like he knew my old, I named some of the old guys that I had worked for. He was like, yeah, I know them. And he said, and he was working for Lowe's.
Okay.
Like Lowe's. So he said, I want you to come over to Lowe's. He's like, look, we're going to make this happen. So I knew I had a job right out of college. But so this is mid-90s. Lowe's traditionally was started in North Carolina.
Okay.
So it was a rural store.
Yeah.
That then wanted to come to the city. So in the 90s is when they decided to start opening up in the cities.
Yeah.
Like Atlanta. They dropped a whole bunch of stores in the middle of Atlanta. And so anyway, they were coming out of the country, coming into the cities. Home Depot was the opposite. Home Depot was starting in cities.
Okay.
But what they did was they went and got all these young folks. They went and got young white guys. They went and got young white girls, young Asians. They went young black folks, and they put together about 30 folks. And so all of us were supposed to be the new managers once they started opening up these new stores in these diverse populations.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool, but it was just it was first off, it's retail. Lowe's is retail, right?
Yeah.
It was a weird job, and it was plus because we 30 were this special group. We went into stores making more than most of the folks there. So exactly.
Yeah.
So imagine a 21-year-old kid walking into a place where a grown man
I've been working there 10 years.
And made himself manager, and I walked in the door making pretty much double what he made. And the store managers knew that us 30 were the project kids, and they were not nice. The word spread around the region. So I remember it was me. So it was me and this girl and this guy, young white guy. Four of us. And man, they used to treat us like crap. God, man, they were so mean to us.
Were you all sent out into the stores to kind of figure out
learn.
The day-to-day process?
Yeah, we were trained. We were to be trained in the store.
Yeah.
In different areas, right? Like millwork and building materials, plants, seasonal, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Learn all that, and then when the stores would be built, we would then go and be managers of those new stores once they were ready. So it just yeah, it was rough, man. That's all I can say.
Well,
it was rough.
I understand. So my dad was a truck driver 40-something years, and he was like, I'll do a bad impersonation of my dad. Every 5 years, they bring another terminal manager in here, some pissant kid from college, some 25-year-old who's decided they're going to change the game on how we do trucking. And he was like, he would get called into the office because he would just raise hell, and I was like, oh my god. He's like, this dumb son of a bitch. I was like, all right, Dad, calm down. All right.
Yeah.
So I understand from the opposite side of him having to deal with people, but.
Oh, yeah, those guys, man, the guys hated me.
Yeah.
Hated me. Like, I remember one guy was like, just because you went to college doesn't mean you know anything. So I kind of started off in millwork and building materials. And so, so I had all these builders, contractors, and, guys would come over to me. Hey, I bet you don't know what a T-square is. I mean, like, you can say that shit all you want to, but I'm going to still be your boss tomorrow. So I don't have to know what a T-square is.
There's another theme to pick up on.
Like, but that's me though. Like, if you pick on me, like, I'm not gonna let it happen. Yeah, I'm a man, so I'm pulling out too, right? Like, I'm gonna show you that I can be tough too, and that's what I mean, this is what it was. But these guys are rough, man. They were rough. These are old guys, man, that they knew that I was their boss, but did not want to respect me as a boss. Yeah. And so I would, had to learn how to manage them. Yeah. So sometimes I would, get down and work with them, and, where they would go, okay, he's not just, this kid coming in here trying to change things. And, and I'm there to learn. So they're teaching me, but it's like, it was a bad man. Yeah. It was a bad man. It was a bad move. They shouldn't have done it that way.
So. Were there, like, did you call your dad or mom and be like, can you help me out here? Like, talk through, like, what's going on? Or was there anybody? No,
I'm not that kid. I'm not that person. I wasn't that person. Okay. To, like, reach back at home and go, like, what do I do with this? Yeah. I probably should have, but I don't know. My personality type doesn't allow for that. Okay. Really.
I was also the latchkey kid that my parents worked a lot, and there's not one artist in my family. So I was on my own little path where they were like, we don't know what the hell you're doing. But just, are you making money? Yeah. Okay. That's good then. Yeah. So it was almost like on my own little island of just like, well, I guess I'll do this now. Like, there's a lot of times I look back and I was like, there was a job I got offered when I was 17 that I still do not understand what that company was thinking. Because when I graduated high school, I was 17. I'd worked in the print shop for 4 years. I actually had a portfolio, got job offers that I still don't at this age. I'm just like, you were going to give, like, Goodies was going to give their entire post-production department, like bindery and cutting and all that, to me. At 17. Wow. Oh, wow. But they were like, yeah, but you've been doing this for 4 years, so you know what the hell you're doing. Like, true. But they didn't like that I wanted to go to college. Like, that was like, no, you've got to work. You got to be a full-time employee. It went up to like 4 levels. It was like some VP of the southern region was like, no, he's got to work these specific hours. And the shop foreman was like, he can work whatever hours he wants. Like, if he's going to college to better himself, let him go to college and better himself. But one job was a manufacturing company out in Maryville or Alcoa that they had a job opening that I saw in the paper, because that's how it was back in the 90s. In charge of marketing, design, and PR. And so I went in and interviewed wearing my janky suit from, what's that store called? Palm Beach Mail Outlet. That was it did not fit me well. And I walk out there and they were like, okay, so you'll be in charge of this department and you'll be in charge of our catalog, and we'll fly. Here's the thing. We'll fly you to Europe and you'll give press conferences. I was 17. Bless you. I was 17. I was like, I can't check into a hotel by myself. What are you talking about? Flying me to Paris and Europe and to Germany, I think it was. And they offered me the job, and I did not take it because it scared the shit out of me.
But what's interesting is that, right, like...
I was also 6'6" and 330, so I did look like
an old man as a young man, but that was the way of the times, right?
If you had the thing, the book, or like for me, portfolio, showing that I knew what the hell I was doing, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but like people did not... even on my internship at Disney, I was 21. Yeah, I was 21. And I was doing resort sales. And so, like, the amount of leeway that I got, like, they gave me, like, a Cadillac. For sales Cadillac to like drive around in. Hell, I wasn't making any sales. I was an intern. I didn't even know what sales were. You know what I mean? But like they were just like, hey, go out and check out this hotel. Like, so they had me doing market research. I'd go and get in the car and just drive up like cross town. Like, you know what I mean? They would just be like, hey, the car's over there. Go and go do XYZ. And like, all right. All right. Sure.
I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah. So, hey, go to the airport and pick up these drivers, these guys. We want to bring them in and tour them around this area, and we're gonna take them to not Magic Mountain. Jesus Christ,
Magic Kingdom.
Yes, Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom. Yeah.
I don't know why I said Magic Mountain. So yeah, it was cool though. It was cool. It was cool.
Lowe's. So you do that? How long did you do that job?
I did it for a couple of years.
Okay.
Then, moved on and did some other stuff, and then started working for Marriott, and I worked for Marriott for a long time.
Okay.
So,
and it was always just, here's another opportunity to learn something new, or?
Yeah. I mean, it was always business, you know. So, but yes, it was an opportunity to learn something new, and then, like, I was pretty good at budget stuff, and so as a financial analyst, I was like pretty decent at that. Okay. So I just kind of stayed in that world, and that's just what it was, man.
And
but
also kind
of.
I
always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Okay, I was going to say that's also the era of the overspending in corporate companies. It felt like there came a point where it was like, wait, we were spending how much money on what? Like, like it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, late 90s.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, companies are making a lot of money. And so, it was that.
Okay.
It was that. It was, with Wall Street, greed is good. Like, so there was that good. Still was permeating corporate culture. So, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I went from working at a mom and pop print shop to the News Sentinel. That was my first corporate experience on a smaller level. Yeah. Then I went to work at PetSafe, which was a global corporation.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And that was even a trip. I was like, wait, you're going to pay for me to go to a design conference in Chicago where the hotel is $400 and something a night. Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. It's like, what am I missing?
Yep.
Can I make more money? Can you? I don't want to go that. Just pay me what you're going to pay for me to go to that, and I'll figure it out. Like, Lord.
Yeah, there was a lot of that, man. It was, I mean, jeez. Yeah.
Was there like a breaking point in that culture to where you're like, I got to go out on my? No, you said you always kind of wanted to.
Yeah, no, I knew I was going to go out on my own one day.
Okay.
Kind of what happened for me with my first. I've always like played around in business, even though like my whole life, like have played around, but really kind of bit the bullet. So I was working at Lowe's. I mean, not Lowe's. I'm sorry. I was working at Marriott, and I bought a commercial cleaning company.
Okay.
And so I had the corporate 9 to 5, right? Well, more than 9 to 5 because it was all the time. I mean, so working that job, but then at night. Building a commercial cleaning company. Okay. So got that going, and a couple years in, I just caught hell at corporate is not a nice place when you get to a certain level.
No.
You know what I mean? It's a very nasty environment.
Yeah.
Because it's a blood sport. It's Game of Thrones, right? It's everybody's fighting for their piece to keep their fiefdom whole and fighting for more money, and guys are making real money and and doing whatever they can to knock off the next guy from competing or so it was I had a boss who hated me, and and it was nasty, very, very nasty. I don't even want to get into it. It was a very nasty place.
I've been there many a time.
Yeah, because he saw me as competition.
Yeah.
So he would my reports and stuff would have to be sent to up the corporate chain.
Yeah.
So to Mr. Marriott and those folks, he would change my work. He would change the reporting, and so I found out later. But yeah. God. So that it showed that I was incompetent. It was a nasty place. It became a nasty environment. But I had the cleaning company, and it's about second year in, and I had grossed my salary. So the company was growing. And then I started weighing the option. I just go off and do my own thing, man. Screw this.
And if you commit to that full time, then you can grow it even more.
Yeah, I knew. If I got it to that level, and I'm still doing part time, what could it look like if I poured gasoline on that thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and just went all in.
I want to ask what made you choose the cleaning company, but if you're a analyst, then you're probably like, oh, this is the throw terms like gross margins and stuff.
And I don't want to do that. So I'll keep it light, but yes, that actually is the reason why. So here's the story. So I had a buddy. He was doing cleaning work.
Okay.
And I think he had started a company. And so he had asked me to help him out with something one day. And he was cleaning out a small house. Excuse me. He was cleaning out a small house, and so we did the work, cleaned out the house, and matter of an hour, we went and got a couple hours. We went and got a 6-pack beer, just talking. And he said, "Oh yeah, man, let me pay you." And he gave me like $150.
Yeah.
And I was like, he said, "Oh yeah, that's half of what I made on this job." I was like, "Wait a minute, you made $300 for what we just did?" He said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, interesting." So the wheels started turning, and I was like, "Tell me about this business." And he was like, "Look, man, there's a lot of money in cleaning. As an example, here I'll give you an example. So did you go to UT or you just
Just Pellissippi?
Just Pellissippi. Okay.
Yeah, I paid for my own. I that's all I could afford.
Okay.
Like back then, I had a weird place of my grades weren't good enough to get any scholarships, and my parents were on that. We were upper lower class, so we made
just too much money, just a
little too much to where they were still living paycheck to paycheck, but it still was not. And my grades were good, but they weren't, for whatever reason, they weren't 4.0. They were like 3.6, and
my high school weren't even that.
Oh, well, I was only 3.6 because I was in Art 6. We were in block scheduling my last year, and it's still the funniest thing ever. The first semester I had English and maybe a math class, and then it was print shop and art. And then my last semester in college or in high school was literally print shop in the morning. He invented a class for me to take, an art class. And then another print shop, he invented another class. And then I taught the Prevoke program.
Oh, wow.
My last class. And so it was, all of those were 100. And even art, Miss Waller, she was like, "You're in art 8 at this point." She was like, "I don't know what to tell you." And I was like, "I'm not good." She's like, "Yeah, but you show up and you try." I was like, "Well, thank you, Miss Waller." She was the nicest lady in the world.
Yeah.
And I'll give a shout out to my print shop teacher because he has the greatest name ever. Conley Miracle. Conley Miracle was my print shop. But that's the only reason I had 3.6 is my English class, we had a teacher transfer from West my senior year, and she did not understand Fulton kids at all.
Okay.
She's like, "You're all going to go to college." And we're like, "No." It's like, she has 2 kids already, and she's 16. No, she's not. What are you talking? No offense, but it was just no, we're all going to work after this. There are very few of us that will go to college. And there was one kid, Jeff, she was like, "You have so much potential." He was like, I live in, what was it? Austin Homes or something. He's like, I don't have any.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we don't have, I think he had a sister and 3 brothers. He's like, we have no money. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm going to go work.
Yeah.
Like after this. And she's like, but you have so much potential. So
Yeah.
I'm getting into the last section, the last 2 weeks or whatever. And I was like at a 46 in that class. And because I would just be like, man, Shakespeare's bullshit. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it doesn't, all this. And she was like, but it does. She would argue with me. And I was just like, but I don't like it. I'm reading 3 books a week of like Sherlock Holmes and Herman Woolcock and all this stuff. I was like, I looked at her one day. Here's my personality. I was like, do you want me in here next semester? And she went, no. And I was like, okay, what can I do in these last 2 weeks to get it up to just a passing grade? And I was like, I read all these books. I can write essays and reports. I wrote like 60 reports in 2 weeks. 1-page reports on what the book was about, what it meant to me, all that. And I'm literally writing the last one in class, and I hand it to her. She's like, you have a 70. I was like, I had a D-, but I passed. I was like, but it was just funny, her going, no, I don't want you in here next time. You're too much trouble. I was like, I'm working. I'm taking care of my sister. I'm with football, basketball, and baseball. Shakespeare's boring to me. Like, I'm also reading 3 books a week. I was like, just take what I enjoy. I enjoy reading. Just let me enjoy what I do. It was so weird to where that 70, but balanced out with that's why I only had 3.6 is because that 70 really drug down.
Gotcha. Yeah. So the cleaning.
Back to the cleaning.
To cleaning. Yeah. Like as an example, the Discovery building, right? Like,
yeah.
Discovery's building of about $60,000 a month billing.
Yeah.
Right. To clean that building. Right. Like, so there's buildings in the city that are like that big and bigger. Right. Like, so, there was a lot of money there's a lot that can be done in that industry. And so I was like, yeah, I started to partner with my buddy.
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, because he told me, he said, look, man, I don't know business, but I do understand chemicals and how to do cleaning and stuff. And so I said, all right, let's test run this thing. And then I realized quickly that I was not going to partner with him, and went off and looked at how I could get in the industry. So buying a franchise was the best thing for me.
Okay.
Coming out of an accounting background, right? Like numbers background. I didn't know anything about pH balance or like cleaning and chemicals.
And also probably the insurance or what's it called, the liability and stuff.
That stuff isn't that bad.
Oh, okay.
But just understanding what you're doing. Like you could be, a mom and pop out here cleaning. Like somebody could come in here and clean your home. But right, like, are they cross-contaminating when they're using the microfiber towel, right? Like there's a certain way to wipe off things that you don't cross-contaminate. Like those type of things are what you want to learn. Like here as an example. So, most folks, especially in the South, you grew up, your grandmother's got that wood table.
Yeah.
And remember, it was always like a ring on that table.
Yeah.
There was always that ring, and she probably cleaned it off with Pine Sol. Yeah. Like that Pine Sol is the reason why.
Oh, okay.
Because that Pine Sol was eating into the wood.
Oh, okay.
And so like it would like wherever the indentions were, it would begin to eat down into that. So I had like learning things like that, which allowed me to run a cleaning business without coming from the industry. And so like, we did well. And eventually that I left corporate America and I had that business for about 12 years and sold it and started doing my own thing. So
were you looking for other things while you were doing that to kind of branch out a little bit more?
Yeah. I mean, the cleaning business, we did well, but actually didn't like it.
Okay.
And you don't know what you don't know, right? But I just ended up at a point where about 5 years in, I realized like, I don't want to do this long term.
Yeah.
And so then I started doing consulting work.
Okay.
So,
business consulting.
Yeah.
Okay. And did you have luck in that of previous contacts that could, or did you kind of have to build that from the ground up?
Well, people knew that I was in business. And
Okay.
That I had the cleaning company, and so they knew, like, the word had gotten out, right?
Okay.
Like, Damon's in business. Damon's a business person.
Yeah.
He owns this company. So, then I was working with the chamber and like different entities around. And so, like, people kind of knew, like, oh, well, this dude could help a startup and he could help. And because of my background too.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
With my you had that with my background, and then like I can help a small business understand their P&L and why they're losing money, and how to make more money. And
Took me a second. Profits and loss.
Yeah, the P&L statement.
Again, artist.
You're an artist. So yeah, like I can help them read a cash flow statement. I can help them, understand the business of business, because we're all good at something, but then there's the business of owning a damn business, right?
Yeah.
Like, even if you're an artist, you could say, hey, man, I want to do art. Well, I'm going to be a musician. Yeah, but there's contracts in music. There's the business of music.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see a lot of great artists who are not good at it.
Yeah.
Right? And those are the guys who got screwed out of a contract or
that ESPN 30 for 30 broke is one of the best documentaries. It's amazing.
I agree. They're good at football, right?
Yeah.
But not the business of football.
Yeah.
And then they trust another guy who is good at the business of football, quote unquote, to take care of that stuff for them.
It's usually a cousin.
Yeah. Or they go get a manager.
Yeah.
And or they got a business manager or an agent.
Yeah.
And the agent hooks them up with a business manager.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
And the business manager is paying all their bills, but they're not looking at their own checks, and you got a guy paying, you know what I mean? Like, so but so I was good at helping businesses, medium and small companies, be good at looking at all the other stuff of the business.
And there's more diversity in that work that you're getting to meet with and talk to people in a broad range of business.
Yeah.
To where it's not just cleaning every day.
Yeah.
Like day in, day out. Like,
yeah. Well, the challenge in the cleaning business for me personally, other people can take it. I couldn't. It just doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
Is that if I cleaned your building, my team cleans your building 30 days out of this month, that one day that somebody left some trash in a trash can or didn't do something well, that's the day that your client typically calls you.
Yeah.
And when they call you, it's not a nice phone call.
No.
And so for me, I was like, I don't like confrontation in that way. Like, if you're my client, let's build together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want this antagonistic thing working. I want us to work together. So, like, you don't have to berate me. Just tell me about the mistake.
Yeah.
And we'll fix the mistake. Because these are humans that I've hired.
Yeah.
This ain't robots cleaning the building.
Yeah.
So if somebody had a bad day or whatever, or was rushing and missed something.
Or a trash can wasn't where it normally
is, right?
Yeah. So I did cleaning for a little bit during some downtime during the pandemic where money wasn't flowing in. And there was one place that it was just like they had a bathroom upstairs that the door was always locked. And I was supposed to clean it. I went out there, I think, twice a week. And they're like, once a week, like on Wednesdays, you got to clean that. And it would always be locked. I was like, okay, then that means they don't want me to clean it. And they would fire off emails to the company I was working for and be like, hey, your man didn't clean. And I was like, yeah, the door was locked. And the owner of the cleaning company would email that person back and be like, either leave a key or unlock the door or don't send me an email complaining. Because our man is there, and you didn't see the 99% that he did great, that place was trash.
Yeah.
It was all a bunch of frat dudes, and it was awful.
But they sent one email about one bathroom.
Yeah.
And the bathroom was probably one person's bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
anytime I went in and cleaned, I was like, this is why I'm cleaning. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Well, see, those emails would just drive, they would just drive me nuts. I hated to get that type of email. Or I hated to get, dude, So to tell you a funny email I got one time. Like, this guy was just a monster, and at this one building, and it's a massive car plant. So I mean, like, acres.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you the car company, because
Yeah.
if this gets out and I don't want him.
Well, I'm sitting here telling that. I was like, yeah, I need to be very careful because I think I did not name the company I work for. Like, yeah.
But I actually figured what company you were talking about.
Oh, really?
Okay. We'll talk offline. I think I know who you're talking about. But so this guy's just rough, man. I mean, he's just a tyrant. He emails me, and we would get a shipment, because this is a factory.
Yeah.
So this is a massive building, massive place. So we would get these shipments every week of, like, pallets of toilet paper, pallets of paper towels and stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so we would fill the closet. And so one time, like, we would get it in the evening. And so my third shift person, their responsibility was take it, put it in the shelf, clean it up, get the shelves ready for the morning folks who come in. And they left the boxes. They would put the boxes in, and they would put the boxes in the closet.
Okay.
This dude sent me a email telling me that the boxes should not be in the janitor's closet. Mind you, hey, please tell your people not to have the boxes leaning up against the wall. These are empty boxes, mind you. Please don't have the boxes leaning up against the wall, because they mess up the paint.
In a janitor's closet.
In a janitor's closet.
That's insane.
Like,
yeah.
That's how.
Oh, yeah.
Like, asinine that guy was. But
yeah.
So the real problems. Oh, he would have a field day with the real problem. Like,
yeah.
But even on stuff that wasn't a problem,
yeah.
he would make just problems.
Yeah.
So anyway, like, I dealt with a lot of those type of people.
Yeah. I will say, when I worked at the paper the first time, I was always the later person there. So I met the lady who cleaned the Sentinel, and she was the sweetest, nicest lady. So that made me switch, like, oh, she's like a grandmother. I'm going to clean my own desk every day. Like, yeah. I don't want to let her down. Yeah. Like, not throwing food away into my own trash can. Yeah. Like, there's all those little clicks in my head. So when I started doing it, I was like, man,
yeah,
you put the pizza box next to, you couldn't put it in the freaking trash, like stuff like that. So now at the office I work at now, it's like, oh yeah, there's usually like a tissue in my, like, like I'm so meticulous on, like,
I will not throw away liquid.
Yeah, no,
in a
hell
like
no.
like in a can or like a cup of coffee that you didn't finish.
Yeah.
Like, I will find a sink.
Yeah,
I have been in meetings. And, meetings over with, and people are like, oh, you could just leave your trash. And I'll be like, hey, you guys got a sink somewhere? I can pour this out. Because I've seen trash cans, you know what I mean? Like, people got half-filled cups and stuff, and people grab the bags, and then next thing you know, there's just dribble line going out the building. So, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
The only place I don't feel that same way is at baseball and football stadiums.
Yeah.
Because it's such a mess there. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to, if it's too much for me to carry out, like, I will try to carry out as much as I can because of the recycling and stuff now. But there have been times I was like, I spilled peanut shells. I'm not going to worry about theirs because they're going to come through here with the blower.
Yeah.
into it. Like, that I can, my OCD can take a break.
Yeah, but so decided to do the cleaning business, started consulting, and I love it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's totally different to get a call from a client and they go, hey man, I had the best month ever this month.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's also the switch of, because I learned this in going out on my own, was they're usually coming to you because they see you as an expert. So those emails are not like, how dare you? They're like, oh man, I may have messed this up. Is this okay? It's almost like apologetic sometimes when you get those emails. Yeah,
but it's so wonderful to get like I had a client who they decided to take on photography, and they were like, look, I don't know I got an eye for it. I know I've got an eye for it, but I really want to turn it into a business. And we massaged that idea. And I remember when they, like after maybe year 2 or so, and they called me one day and they were like, "Yo, we made $15,000 this month. Is it great?"
There's where I think I know where you're talking about. Former guest on the podcast, yes. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that type of person.
Yeah.
You're like, that feels wonderful.
Yeah.
Or to let somebody, I mean, I consult with some cleaning companies. I've worked with a bunch of different folks. Like one cleaning company, we started working together, and I was telling them, okay, we need to do this and we need to do this and some stuff to change. And I mean, in a matter of months, they jumped from around 80 and some change to over 2 and some change.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because they implemented some things and I was like, yeah, you're losing money on this. You're not doing this. We could tweak this. I was like, and we could change this. Let's do your marketing this way. And they were like, and they, boom, added on like 4 or 5 new accounts in a heartbeat in a matter of months. And it just skyrocketed their yearly billing. I mean, like, great. but that's working with somebody who's, I mean, those things, that feels good. And so I'm at a place in my life where I don't have to do, like, cleaning was great work. Yeah. It was a great business, but it didn't feed my soul.
Yeah.
And so I can do things that feed my soul and, nurture what I need nurtured now. Yeah. And I'd rather build than be in some adversarial relationship in the business career.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Speaking of building stuff, I'm going to keep with the bad segue. The Knoxville Black Business Directory. When did you start that?
Started that COVID.
Okay.
So what was COVID year?
2020, 21, 20, yeah.
1 or 2.
Okay.
One. I think it was 1.
Okay.
Because we're almost 3 years old. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that like, I don't know. Was that like building upon the network that you had already kind of built up from consulting, or?
No, not really. No,
okay.
It was a project of seeing a need in the community, like of impending, not doom, but kind of just seeing what's happening. Because I spent a lot of time in marketing,
yeah,
and just understanding the space and seeing the world and seeing what's happening. I was seeing that, and this is COVID, right? Time, so everything shut down. Like, if you're not driving customers online, you wasn't reaching anybody, right? Like, and I mean, churches and small businesses got caught with their pants down, like around that stuff, right? And so, everything was being shipped to you. If you wanted something, you found it online, and so I knew that medium-sized companies and black-owned companies were just going to get their butts kicked, man. And so I was like, over a couple of glasses of whiskey, I was saying to myself, we need a centralized location that you could find black-owned businesses. And so
I'm trying to think how to politely say. There's not a polite way to say. I saw other people trying to do it that were not the same skin color as you, and it was like, and there was one point where I looked at a list. I was like, you realize there are more black businesses than restaurants and hair salons.
Yes.
I was like, you do understand that, right? Like, yes. Like that kind of drove me nuts. I will say it helped Miss Jackie a lot. So I love it for that.
Yeah. Jackie's got great food. Love Jackie. But yeah, so I did it, and I had the resources to do it. One, I had the resources to do it, and then had the network to be able to do it.
Okay.
So I pulled it off, reached out to folks, and I built it and built it out myself, and just start making it happen.
Did you find businesses that you had never heard of because they didn't have great marketing? No offense to them.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally, man. We've got a one, like, I'm surprised a lot of the time
Yeah.
Because we've got the directory now, and so I'll go in it a couple of times a month in the back end and see, new companies that signed up or need to kind of maybe who signed up and didn't fill out everything, whatever. And there were companies that surprised me, man. We got a pet groomer. We've got a black-owned pet groomer on Maynardville Highway.
Okay.
Right? I was like, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We've got these great companies all over the city, and they're not just restaurants and hair salons. Like you said, you've got consultants, you've got attorneys.
Yeah.
We've got 27 categories of businesses, right, on the directory, but they're more than that, right? So it's just, there's a lot of us here doing a lot of great business. And the thing about most small business, they don't market well. They're building the thing. They're doing their job. They're getting after it.
Yeah.
Right. And so, are they on social media that well? No. Are they doing marketing that great? No, because most medium and small businesses aren't.
Yeah.
So they're no different. But if there was a centralized location to be able to do it, I knew that it would gain like a lot of momentum. And the way that we built the site out, we've got some really great SEO.
Yeah.
And if you search black-owned businesses, if you Google black-owned businesses in Knoxville, we're the first authentic spot.
Nice.
Right? Not, not ad spot. We're the first, organic, I meant, not authentic.
Well, that too.
Yeah. We're authentic, definitely. But we're first because we get a lot of traffic. There's about 1,200 unique visitors a month that come to the site.
Holy crap.
And for this city, that's pretty good,
Yeah. Yeah, there is, now I'm going to have to, I may have to look, I'll look later. Because I'm like, wait, former guest, PJ, is his smart home business on there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank God.
Yep.
Because I was like, that's another one. I was like, hey, PJ, why are you not, I was going to text him, like, why are you not on this, man?
Yeah, PJ's on there. Look, you've got a smart house company, right?
Yeah.
So, again, there's a lot of great companies on there doing great things.
He cracks me up because struggling trombone player or trumpet player from back in the day. I've known him for almost not 20 years, but a long time. So
yeah, musician by trade, but a tech guy.
But tech nerd,
a tech guy who's been in tech for 15 plus years and done well, and then starts to.
I was thinking of an obtuse business that would. It's like, smart home, which is such an emerging market.
Absolutely.
That's what we talked about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So you've how long? So it's almost 3 years. So is there thoughts of expansion?
Yeah. We're gonna expanding the directory. A couple of things. One, we're expanding our partnerships and now doing some cohort trainings.
Okay.
So, trainings for entrepreneurs to get the business of the business, right? Yeah. And then we also launched in December, we launched Montgomery, Alabama, Montgomery Black Business Directory. And the intent is to open up a couple other cities too.
Okay.
That,
is there opportunities to mentor potential young entrepreneurs?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So that's why we're moving. We're doing more of the educational stuff.
Yeah.
So we technically can kind of become an accelerator program.
Okay.
Where some entrepreneurs can come in and take that idea, nurture it, and get all the necessary help they need.
Yeah.
To build a great business, because it's not just enough to have the idea. As entrepreneurs, we always are talking about our product and our thoughts and what we think.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be great for people.
Yeah.
Right. And then we never went out and asked anybody if they ever wanted what we're selling.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just, but if we are able to say, okay, business owner, you need to learn your sales, your accounting, your marketing, your HR,
healthy competition report.
Yeah. Like your market analysis. Where's your sweet spot in the industry?
Yeah.
What's your unique selling proposition? All these things that make you kind of different and better. And so,
that is one thing I think the city does pretty good in reaching. not the city as in the government, but the city as in the people in this town is reaching young people to help grow that, like Emerald Youth, or what Nourish, the farmers market people have been doing about teaching, and Chris Battle about teaching people how to grow their own food.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a lot of people in town that really kind of target kids to be like, how can we help make you understand stuff that's not your normal day to day?
Yeah, there's a lot of groups that do great work like that. Yeah. I would agree with you on that. I think the city, people in the city do a great job of that. That's just, this unique community of Knoxville, right?
Yeah, because even going back in the day, God, why am I blanking on it? Danny and Chris.
Tribe One?
Yeah. Tribe One. Like, I remember when that started, and it was like, holy crap, you're teaching kids how to print T-shirts. I was like, this is, because coming from printing in high school, I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. Like, I was just a little too old. I was like, this is great, man. This is.
Yeah, the print shop that they had did well.
Yeah. Man, Danny is another one of those that because of Dad, I got to meet Danny when I was young.
Oh, wow.
And he was such a nice dude. Him and Chris are both the nicest. Danny was the nicest guy. Tough, but nice.
Yeah.
And Chris, super nice guy. To where it's a bummer for the city.
Yeah.
It's a bummer for everything at large, but I think he would have done great things in this town. Like, I think we would have had him as mayor.
Oh, Danny?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Very soon.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
So here, I'll tell you a funny dad story. So, wait, what year did you move here?
Oh, I came in like 01.
Okay, so you know who Victor Ash is.
Yeah.
I mean, still.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm in middle school, and my dad, we go to a city council meeting, and Dad goes over and picks up Victor Ash and starts bouncing him. And he starts pointing at me. He's like, hey, see this boy? That's my bodyguard. And I'm like, Dad, put the mayor down. Put the mayor down. I'm like 12. I'm like, put the mayor down. Which now it's like, that's even funnier. Considering how he has turned out. That's even funnier.
Oh, man, that's cool. Yeah, your dad, he's cool.
He's fine.
Yeah, I understand. He's your dad, so you can't like him.
No, again, we're men, we're Southern men, we're Collins men. We can't talk to each other about feelings. Come on now.
I understand.
Okay, expansion, encouraging in young people. Do you, other than expanding in cities or helping younger people, do you already have things you're thinking of in like phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 of the directory?
Yes.
Okay.
2 years.
Even though you can't.
I'm not.
You don't want to sell out your secrets.
Yeah, I can't give it all to you, man. But again, we're in order to grow great businesses, there needs to be a level of education around business, and so that part is imperative that we're implementing now.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing marketing classes and stuff like that, because that's the other part of growing a community of businesses.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I always say. So supporting a Black-owned business is not just supporting a Black-owned business.
Yeah.
It's supporting local.
Yeah.
Because you're supporting a business in a community, period. Like in your city. You're not supporting Burger King multinational, international company. You're supporting a dude that goes to church or a lady that goes to this local church that, their kids go to the local high school.
Yeah.
So when they hire, the larger they become, the more that they're going to hire from this local community.
Yeah.
And they're going to raise wages. Like, there's nothing but good things that come out of that.
Yeah.
They're going to, give people a living wage. They're going to hire more people. So the bigger that they get, the more local they are, the better.
Yeah.
They give more to nonprofits statistically than local, national, big companies. And so it's imperative that you pour in them.
Yeah. Local. Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's another sticking point of mine, to where there was a restaurant-based business that came to town that the guy was from Chicago. And I tried to get him. I was like, okay, So you should buy coffee from this. Here's a company to buy coffee from that's local. Here's a milk company. That one's the easiest one to figure out humanly possible. You should buy milk. And he was like, nah, I'm going to go with bigger brands that are more, established. I was like, then why would you not?
Yeah.
You're local. Why are you not supporting local? Like,
That
blows my mind.
Exactly.
Blew my mind. So
That's but that's like, so in my travels and because I've kind of gotten to see some unique things. Like I remember I was in Cleveland, Ohio,
okay.
and there was some development going on, and the city had about, it's probably $500 million in development going on.
Yeah.
Around in different neighborhoods, etc. But one thing I saw that stood out to me, like they were like, okay, well, this neighborhood, we've kind of helped this neighborhood get funded. This restaurant get funded and some other things locally, but it was all local.
Yeah.
And it wasn't big box stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you pour into the folks, because who knows what's needed in South Knoxville, right? But people from South Knoxville, they know what they need. I don't know what they need.
Yeah.
So as a developer, I think if we can take, like, I live east, so I know what east needs.
Yeah.
You don't live east.
No.
You're close to east, but you don't live east, so you don't know. But you know what's needed out here.
Yeah.
In this quadrant of the city. But if we could just take that development.
No, I'm just laughing.
Yeah.
We need more breweries. That's what we need.
Damn it. If we get another brewery, man. Oh, my gosh. Like, we got too many breweries and we have too many coffee shops. Like, look how many coffee shops we have in this city.
So my buddy and I did the math. If you started at Remedy and counted that as downtown, I think we got up to there are 11 to 12 places where you can, I don't want to say where you can buy coffee, but there's also a donut shop downtown. There's a biscuit shop downtown. Those are also mainly coffee shops too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was like, there are 11 or 12. So I will say that's what frustrates me when I see touring musicians walking on stage with Starbucks cups. I was like, you cannot throw a rock and not hit a local coffee shop.
Yeah.
And you went to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's not even, as you start to go out west, you got a bunch there. That you're just talking about this footprint downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Remedy, was that Western, I think.
Remedy is behind Axel. So next to the, it is west of downtown.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the old Remedy, like the
the one downtown,
in
the old
by
city.
the cemetery.
Oh no, that's Remedy. Yeah,
yeah. So I'm saying from there, on
onto downtown. Yeah,
yeah.
There are, I think it's 12. We did the math. It's that's insane.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it's a lot. Yeah. So, but if we can grow companies, make them bigger, make them better. They hire local. Yeah.
Positive thing I'll say about the brewers is, because I know a bunch of them, they all work to get 99% of them work together and get along and try and push that forward. Yeah. And I do it like that, because they're like, no, we're all in this together. If you have a problem with your tanks, tell Adam Engel give him a shout out at Alliance, and he will gladly come over and help. That's one thing I actually like about the brew, but I also don't want us to turn into Asheville to where that's all we have.
Yeah.
That's the major industry. But
yeah.
Anyway, good Lord. Okay. Is there anything you would like to see more of in business, just in general, other than local?
I'd like to see more black-owned businesses. That's just my 2 cents, but more black-owned eateries and just all of it.
Yeah.
All of it. Just more of them. So that's just my 2 cents. Not in any particular way, but just more of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Feeling maybe younger black people to feel more comfortable in going their own path.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, starting their own business.
Yeah, you look at most people today, most not millennials, was it Zillennials at this point?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The TikTok generation.
Yeah, like most of them want to be entrepreneurs, and so, I think if you can, I love entrepreneurship. So
Yeah.
that it's we're a maker city, but if you would grow that as well,
Yeah.
then it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good at the end of the day. So it just makes for a better place. Like you get people who, when they become business owners, they're more active in politics.
Yeah.
They're more active in those things. And so
Okay.
I think it's all good. All
Okay.
good. I think things are moved by entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents.
Is there anybody particular you would love to work with? Doesn't have to be local, could be national, just
Work with?
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's an interesting question. I'd have to think in what regard. I don't know.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Add that one to the here you go. You can add do you set goals or a checklist? Is that a routine for you?
I'm a goals guy. I'm not a checklist guy.
Okay.
I'm a goals guy. But I'm methodical in going after my goals. So I have a philosophy that I kind of use when I go after goals. I don't go after a lot of goals.
Okay.
I kind of break them down into threes, and I only go after 3 major goals a quarter.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I only go after one at a time. I don't go after all 3.
Okay. Okay.
I see.
For me, it's like I feel like I'm constantly stirring all the pots. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I got to get this thing up and going. And while this is up and going, okay, I've got it going. Okay, I've got to move
Yeah.
over here. Because something that other friends in like the design world, we talk about, it's like we would feel fortunate to get paid at 90 days. How many times you're waiting on a paycheck to where it's like, you are a major corporation. How can you not figure out how to pay me in 90 days? Whereas you go to like a local PR firm and it's like 2 weeks later, you've got a check in the mail. It's like, y'all are killing me, man. I was like, can you pay me in the time you agreed to pay me? Like,
Oh yeah.
that's the one that always stuck with me.
Been there.
But
yeah, no, like so for me, and the reason why I don't spin the 30 plates is because I think if you spin one plate, if you go after the one plate really, really hard with all of the intention, then you'll get that done.
Yeah.
And you can move on to the other ones pretty quickly.
I think my brain is broken a little bit because I'm the person who can work on something while I have music going and a movie going and it not distract me to where it's almost like I almost have to compound 5 things at one time.
Yeah, that freaks me out. I can't do that.
Now I can hyper focus. I always love telling this story. I edited a video footage for a commercial for a company to where they gave me a hard drive with like 80 hours worth of footage that I had to review. And I was like, you realize you're paying me to review the 80 hours and then I have to cut and they were like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, thanks for paying my mortgage for the next year and a half. Like, good Lord. Jeez. So I sat in that office and reviewed footage for 3 straight days. And on the 3rd day at like 11 p.m., I just got up and I threw open the front door and walked outside and went, I had not showered. I just got up every morning and started at like 9 o'clock, reviewed footage till like 1 p.m. and then went to bed. And at that's when John Stansel still had his cigar shop in Merchants of Beer. Yeah. And I literally took a shower and drove there because it was like a Friday night. And I walked in there like, you're awful. I was like, I just got done with work. Kind of a cigar and a lot of whiskey. Yeah. And just sat there. I was like, and Kevin was just laughing at me. He was like, are you okay? I was like, no. But the cigar and the whiskey. Let's go.
Those are great things.
Yeah. But it was like that. I could like hyper focus and get it done because I knew I needed to get done. But a lot of times I like having the 50 things going at once.
See, I actually work I work in 1 hour blocks.
Okay.
Like 90-minute blocks. Like I will lock it down and won't think about anything else but that one thing that I'm doing. And then I'll grind into that and then I'll pull up in like about an hour and a half. Yeah. And then I'll like chill out for a second.
Okay.
Because I work from home most of the time.
Yeah.
And then I might like stop, go stand outside for a minute, like chill out. Yeah.
Deep breath.
Yeah. Take a few minutes, then I'll go back in and back into it.
Yeah.
But when you're working project stuff too, like you're an artist, so you like it's project, so it's like
like this stuff I've got for UT where I've got to do these graphics to where that it's almost like I have to pull up a movie or something, because if I just hyper focus on that, it'll take me forever, because but what if I do this? But what if I do this? But what if I... It's like, no. Just have something going to tickle your brain a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah. See, I have to turn everything off.
Oh, okay.
I can't, I can have a little bit of music,
Uh-huh.
but it has to be, like jazz or something soft at a lower tone.
Yeah.
That I can hear it.
Yeah.
But I'm not reaching to hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not loud.
Oh, my
it's
God.
not taking over.
I will say, stuff that I am not good at, like writing, to where I have to really think about what I'm doing. No lyrics in music, has to be instrumental.
Yeah.
And it almost has to be something like perpetual. It can't be something slow, or I'll just be languid. Like I have to do the power through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Do you know what you'd like to do in the next 10 years?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I really don't. I really, truly don't. I've thought about that. Like, oh, man, what do I do when I grow up? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So when I graduated college, I started my own business doing design and print brokerage. And I went to, can't remember what it's called like Score now, but it's the small. And I met with some older dude who's like, you need to develop a 5-year, a 10-year, and a 15-year plan for your business. I was like, I don't know what that's going to look like. I was like, I'm just trying to make it day to day at this point. Like, I don't have any money. I'm making it work as I go.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just out there with a portfolio trying to drum up business. I was like, I can't tell you what I'm going to be doing in 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I used to think like that.
Yeah.
I was that guy. Like, yeah, this is going to be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Now I've decided to stop. I've stopped doing that.
Okay.
Because things shift.
Yeah.
3 years ago, I didn't think to create a Knoxville Black Business Directory.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you had asked me a couple of years prior to that,
Yeah.
I would have just told you I'm just doing consulting work.
Yeah.
Which I was, and that was fine.
Yeah.
Like, I finished one contract the year of COVID. Like, right before COVID. Well, I mean, I finished it because of COVID. Like, COVID, they were like, hey, we can't continue this. And then they gave me a check. It was like, hey, we'll see you later, maybe.
Possibly, maybe. I had 5 of those that did not come back after COVID.
Yeah. But they paid me out for the contract, so I was cool. I was like, okay, that's fine. All right.
Okay.
All right. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think those times have gone.
Yeah.
Where we could really, really like get in front. So I read this really, really cool book, and it was called Person of Influence. I forgot the author, but he talked about, you take older generation, you go back and you look at your parents and your grandparents, and you look at the time frame that your grandparents grew up. They lived in one house.
Yeah.
They had one career, and that was it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you take a look at your parents' generation, they probably maybe had 2 careers. Maybe lived in a couple of places.
Mm-hmm.
Take your generation, now, you've probably had 3-4 careers, maybe more.
I've mainly stuck with design or marketing. That's been the crux. But,
okay.
But I've had
folks,
many jobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
and many small and large. So, yeah.
So you've stayed in arts, but
I
mean, I was in corporate America.
Yeah.
I left corporate America. I was, business owner. Now I'm still a business owner, but different whole industry.
Yeah.
Right? You take other people, they've had like 4, 5 jobs, like in career though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, the world moves fast now.
Yeah.
It moves really, really fast. And you go to college and you go to make a decision on your whole life with the brain of an 18-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, when you really break it down, You went to school at 18 and you said, this is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
For me, 13, because I walked into the print shop. There were only 2 computers in all of the school when I was at Fulton. So, and one of them was in print shop, one of them was in drafting. I was like, oh, printing. Okay. Yeah. And at 13, my fate was sealed, what I would do. I was going to be an elementary school teacher before that. Yeah. Because I love kids and I wanted to teach.
Yeah. See, me, like, so I went back and got my master's the year after COVID, and I'm enjoying, like, if I look back at my career, kind of the most fun times or the best times for me were when I was teaching people.
Yeah.
And educating and helping people, which is probably why I have a deep love for the consulting coaching side.
Yeah.
Because I'm helping people, I'm teaching people. And so for me, I was like, hey, I think I want to teach soon.
Okay.
Like, not on a high school level. I don't like kids. No way would I be in that environment.
So I got, before I turned 25, I had 5 or 6 job offers to teach printing in high schools around here. And I told Mr. Miracle twice it came up at Fulton. I was like, I'm too young. I'll put one of those kids through a wall. I was like, now at a college level, I would love to teach, but I'm going to have to go back to school to get advanced degrees. I'm like, I've been doing this fall will be 31 years that I've been doing graphic design. I was like, why is that not good enough? That I need $80,000 worth of debt and a piece of paper to say I know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, that drives me nuts.
Yeah. But so that's one of the reasons why I went back and got my master's, because I was like, I'd like to teach one day. But then I was like, oh, you can't teach without a master's, and so I went back and
I will give you a nugget of one of the things of the joys I had in working for myself were, so Frussies during the pandemic closed on Gay Street, but then Jay got a food truck, and he set up right around the corner from his own location, was selling sandwiches. And I was there on day 1. And I met up with my friend Aaron Donovan. We sat on the stoop of that church, and then my buddy George also came there, and it was like the first nice day of spring, and we sat there in the sun eating these amazing sandwiches. And I think I took a picture. I was like, this is my goals. It's not to make $200,000 next year. It's to be able to enjoy this moment right here with my friends and not have somebody above me yelling, well, you know, we only give you 30 minutes for lunch. You got to be back. I was like, that's not how the world works now.
And that's, you say that, and like, that's why I say I don't know what I'm going to do. Because if it's not, and I had to sit down and write out, like, what do I really need from life? And that's one of the reasons why I got out of the cleaning business. Mm-hmm. It's because I said, what do I need? And I was like, I need to grow as a team and, like, build stuff. Yeah. Like, this adversarial thing is not good for my spirit.
Yeah.
I need things that I make money while I'm not doing physical work, right? Like, I have this whole criteria of things now that I kind of will look at an opportunity through. Mm-hmm. And I've had opportunities come to me and things. And so, and I look at it through that framework and I go, nah, that'd be too much of this and this. So I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
And so, like, I've got some rules to kind of how it goes now. But just like you said, you know, like, that's peace for you. Peace for you is not making, I mean, hey, $1 million would be fun to make. Yeah. And like, but not having somebody over your back going, hey, Joey, I need you. Where are we at with this? Yeah. This project, where are we at with this project? Brr. Yeah. And so that's not for you now.
No.
And if it's not, it's not.
So. No. It's all going to get done. You give me a time to get that done, I'm going to get it done in that time.
Yeah.
But how I get it done is none of your business. Anyway.
Yeah.
If you could talk to the 14-year-old version of yourself, what would you tell them?
I'd tell him you don't have anything to prove.
Okay.
Okay. Because my career, and I say that because my career, I cut my teeth in corporate. And so there, you know, it's a lot of posturing. It's a lot of, like, proving your worth. And, you know, especially as minority. Like, so I was a real kind of jerk guy, man. Like,
Okay.
But now I'm just,
Yeah.
and it's just the environment, right? It just breeds a level of like kind of killer in you, and you kind of live that for a certain amount of time, and you don't get it out. But it's kind of gone, and now I'm just chilling. Like, I might go play golf later. I don't know. Today's kind of gone, so. But
it looks nice.
It's a beautiful day.
This is killing me.
It's a beautiful day out. But no, I mean, like, that's kind of where I am.
Yeah,
is that I would tell that 14-year-old, yo, man, you listen, things are just fine. You're just perfect, just the way you are.
Yeah.
Like if they don't get you,
it's okay.
It's all right.
Yeah. And I almost want to do this and just cut it off right after I ask you the question as like a teaser of like, so what's it going to take to get you a run for office again? Please. You don't have to answer that, too.
So when it comes to office, like I'm still in politics, so
okay,
I'm still in the party. I'm still, I'm still I'm behind the scenes now.
Okay.
I'm behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I'm still in the party. I'm still as politically involved as I was when I ran.
Okay.
It's just now I'm not in the front of the room.
Okay.
I'm in the back of the room.
Okay.
And I kind of think I like being in the back of the room.
Okay.
I think I can do more good back here versus
fair enough.
Versus the front of the room where people throw things at you and say things and you're like, you don't know me, and they're like, yeah. Oh yeah, man. Running for office was Jesus Christ. That was
I would love to. There is too much stuff people could dredge up on me. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Even if it wasn't stuff they could dredge up on you, they dredge nonsense.
Yeah.
Just everything is not good enough for it. Like anybody.
Yeah.
So I enjoy where I am.
Okay. Well, that's a good place to end. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me, man. This was great. I appreciate it. Yeah. I had a ball.